There's an inherent inward focus and selfishness on behalf of the people that would look at human life with such a, I'm trying to make sure I can word this right, with such a disdain, because that's really what it is. When you look at the sanctity of human life with disdain and disregard, you really don't have a problem terminating a life. And in many cases, it's done for just very arbitrary reasons, such as convenience and as a means of birth control. And this is one of these things that I feel kind of strongly about, that if you are not ready to bring a life into this world, you need to be careful. And you need to take measures in order to prevent that from happening to begin with, rather than just seeking solely on your own self-satisfaction, self-pleasure, that you would forego any safeguards and then get to the end of it and be like, well, you know what, this is inconvenient for me, I'm going to pull the plug on this. And you form an unholy alliance unintentionally in most cases. Most people are unaware of this. In that, there's a lot of guilt that comes with it, especially women that do this. And, you know, they get pregnant because they're out practicing unsafe sex with many partners, and then they use abortion as a means of birth control. And whether they're aware of it or not, this will start to manifest in really negative ways in their life. Okay, so we're going to get into this. We're going to unpack this a little bit. Not going to get too long-winded on this, but let's get into the close fight. Iran, Cuba. Those are the close fight issues. Iran's ongoing. Threats are being made. The Iranian regime is basically telling everybody but the United States and Israel that they could pass through the Straits of Hormuz, but we're going to make that determination ourselves as a country and as a projection of foreign policy. They're in no position to be dictating traffic that comes in and out of the Persian Gulf. And then Cuba. Trump talked about this back in 2000, did a little cursory deep dive on this, and there was an interview with him back in 2000 talking about this very thing, basically indicating that at some point he thinks that Cuba should be free and will probably be free. And under his presidency, we're seeing the potential of that becoming a reality here probably very soon. And that's a close fight issue because I don't think it's going to be without some kind of problems in the interim, in the transfer or transition period. Near fight, the Allies, okay? During World War II, you had the Allies and you had the Axis forces. We're starting to see that reshaping globally. Geopolitically, that's starting to take place across the globe. The United States and its allies are forming up and forming a coalition of allied countries that are going after these belligerent players in the world. Cuba being one of them, Venezuela certainly being one of them. What did we do in Venezuela? We extracted their dictator, and he's going to stand trial and probably spend the rest of his life in prison for the crimes committed against the people in Venezuela. Venezuela will probably soon be a free country, very resource-rich country, I'll add. It's good for everybody, good for us, good for the rest of the world. The byproduct of our selfishness and our self-interest is good for the economy and good for everybody else. And the Axis, it's not good for them. Russia, China, who are the other players? North Korea, you can consider them to be the Axis powers. Because they don't play out of the same playbook as we do. They don't like individual liberty. They don't like free enterprise. They don't like self-determination. They don't like self-governance. They don't like our constitutional system of government here in the United States. So that's the deep fight issue. And we're going to see what becomes of it as we continue to push our foreign policy agenda across the globe. So let's get into this. An unusual fascination with death. That seems to be the thing in our culture. There's an unusual fascination. You see it in the entertainment business. All of the stuff that comes out of the entertainment world is dark, it's negative, and there's always a tinge to it that is just, it doesn't come from a good place. And the people that create this stuff probably think in their minds that they're being edgy and, kind of on the outer fringe of things, but something else is controlling their creative process. Something to think about. We'll get into this a lot more. You guys know where I'm going with this. The unholy sacrament of the thing that God loves the most, children. I mean, we're not here by accident. And the thing that God is, the thing that's most precious to him is children. And when there are forces within humanity that disrupt that process, disrupt that progression of life, it's a bad thing. Lack of responsibility, lack of a respect for life, and on. We'll get into it more. I would say, and I talked about this and I hinted at this in the last video, there is a demonic nature to gender neutrality. Demons are often described with having androgynous traits. So if you get down the road of religion, especially Catholicism as it refers or as it pertains to exorcists, one of the things that they do is they deal directly with demon possession. That's their thing. That's the Catholics' thing. And I've watched lots of interviews with these really well-known and well-regarded exorcists. And one of the things that they say is that the demons refer to themselves in these very neutral pronouns, thee, they, them, we. Where do we see this? Well, we see it here manifested in groups of people that don't identify as one sex or the other. We've talked about this polarity, right? And why those shifts occur and why polarity gets out of balance, why the masculine frame and the feminine frame get out of balance. Has a lot to do with the things that we do, the release of our energy artificially for purposes of just pleasure and nothing else, without any regard for procreation or the actual intent behind it. And it creates these people that they're lost and their identity is skewed. And like I've talked about in the last video, I just challenge you, give it 7 days. If you're one of these people that feels this way, you feel confused about your gender, give it 7 days. Don't release your energy. Don't release your sexual energy for 7 days. And then come back and tell me how you feel. And if you can manage, go longer, 14 days, 28 days, and then go a couple months. You will notice a change. You will notice that that polarity will start to go back to where it is supposed to be. If you're a man, you will go back to your masculine frame. You'll start to feel it. And you'll start to be regarded with higher esteem. If you're a woman, you'll start to go back to your feminine frame. And you'll start to feel it. And you will be regarded with higher esteem and respect. It's the way the world's supposed to work. It's the way humanity is supposed to work. But it's out of balance. It's out of whack. I'm generalizing right now. I'm not getting too into the weeds. We'll continue to unpack this. I'm going to put links down below for channels that really devote a lot of time to this topic. So yeah, the demonic nature of gender neutrality, it's a real thing. And intentional erosion of faith and morals, that's intentional. And the adversary is definitely the one responsible for all of it, influencing people's decisions, tempting people, leading people into temptation. Right? That's the one thing he can do, is he can tempt you. And you have to be strong in your faith. You have to pray a lot. Ask for God's guidance. Ask for Jesus' protection. The temptation's not going to go away, but you'll become stronger and have a stronger ability to resist temptation over time. Okay, individual liberty versus constrained totalitarianism. There are the spiritual underpinnings of it. With individual liberty, with freedom comes a lot of responsibility and discipline and self-determination. With constrained totalitarianism, communism, socialism, none of that exists. It's all controlled for you. And you don't have a whole lot of say in things. Government tells you what you can do, what you can't do, what you can have, what you can't have. You starting to get the picture here? We're going to talk more. Stay tuned.